Hey there, folks. It's Zach at Feel Free to Argue. I've been thinking a lot about the presidential campaign lately, mostly because of a little something that happened to me recently. Went over to Verasifier, it's one of my favorite sites over here, and saw their Sunday news wrap-up. They do a wrap-up every week of like the Sunday morning talk shows. And this week the subject was all about Obama going back on his public financing commitment. He said he would be taking public financing, and then he decided last week, no, he was going to go ahead and go with the private financing because he could raise more money. And I guess that's okay. I mean, I would wish he would rather not do that and that he would try to make a go of it with the public financing, but I understand. He can make more money. What really bothered me, and it was something that Sam Donaldson mentioned in one of the clips, was that his self-serving reason for it, where he was talking about how this actually, you know, is more democracy for the people, and since a lot of his donors are small, that, you know, it's actually decreasing the influence of big money contributions for him to go private. And this is the part of it that I really started, you know, it started bugging me, because it's like, okay, if you want to do this thing, this politically expedient thing for practical reasons, that's fine, but don't give me some kind of flag-waving bullshit about how you're actually serving the country by doing it. And interestingly enough, this response got a -4 on Verasifier, as all the bots kind of rushed to his defense, as I've noticed a lot of people, you know, on various talk shows, you know, supporting Obama and coming up with these tortured reasons why this is okay. And like I said, I mean, it's sort of like Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky. I mean, I would have had a lot more respect for him if he just looked at the people who were asking him the questions about Monica Lewinsky and said either, you know, yes, I had sex with her, next question, or I'm not going to answer that question because I have no respect for it, and I think my private life is my private life, and it's none of your business. Either one of those answers I would have had a lot more respect for than the one that he actually ended up giving, which was, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. And he looked straight in the camera while he was lying to us. And once again, I think this is Obama doing exactly the same thing. You know, because it is a lie that he's increasing democracy by, you know, not rejecting the public financing. And here, this is from American Thinker. I know it's a right-wing site. But this is his answers to the Midwest Democracy Network. Now, these are Obama's answers. First question. As president, would you support and work to enact legislation to strengthen, keep the same, or repeal the presidential public financing system? Obama. Strengthen. Question 1B. If you are nominated for president in 2008 and your major opponents agree to forego private funding in the general election campaign, will you participate in the presidential public financing system? Obama. Yes. I have been a longtime advocate of public financing of campaigns combined with free television and radio time as a way to reduce the influence of moneyed special interests. I introduced public financing legislation in the Illinois State Senate and am the only 2008 candidate to have sponsored Senator Russ Feingold's DWI bill to reform the presidential public financing system in the 2008 election. My plan requires both major party candidates to agree on a fundraising truce, return excess money from donors, and stay within the public financing system for the general election. My proposal followed announcements by some presidential candidates that they would forego public financing so they could raise unlimited funds in the general election. The Federal Election Commission ruled the proposed legal, and Senator John McCain has already pledged to accept this fundraising pledge. I am the Democratic nominee. I will aggressively pursue an agreement with the Republican nominee to preserve a publicly financed general election. So, that's Obama. Even though it's coming from a conservative source, those are his words. No one are putting those words in his mouth. That's what he said. So it's a total flip-flop. But I mean, I don't think we do Obama any great service by ignoring the problems that he has as a candidate. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to shut up about the things that, you know, Obama does that bothers me. I mean, one of the things that's really bothered me lately is his stance on the new FISA correction bill, which is, I forget what the House number is. It's something in the 6,000s. But, I mean, here's something, once again, that he spoke out very strongly against before, and now here's this bill coming. It's not a compromise. It's a capitulation. It's very clear that it's going to represent telecom immunity. And he said that he's going to try to work against it and try to get the telecom immunity stripped off of the bill. But they've tried to do that before, and they haven't been successful. So I'm really interested to see how much down the line he's going to go to, like, stop telecom immunity. Not very far, I don't think. And just in case we're you know, just to make sure that we all know that this is what we're talking about, is telecom immunity, is what this bill talks about. This is from CQ Politics on June 23rd. Under the bill, a federal district court would rule that all existing lawsuits against third parties that assisted Bush's warrantless surveillance program would be waived if there was substantial evidence they received written assurances that the program was legal and authorized by the president. A Senate Intelligence Committee report on an earlier version of the legislation detailed how the companies had received such assurances from the Justice Department and the White House. Aides and lawmakers consider the court's dismissal of the lawsuits a virtual certainty. So, if Obama votes for this, then he is voting for telecom immunity like he said he never would. Once again, I'll use Obama's own words. This is from a speech he gave on February 12th of this year. I'm proud to stand with Senator Dodd, Senator Feingold, and a grassroots movement of Americans who are refusing to let President Bush put protections for special interests ahead of our security and our liberty. There is no reason why telephone companies should be given blanket immunity to cover violations of the rights of American people. We must reaffirm that no one in this country is above the law. He was right then, and he's wrong now. And I'm not going to stop talking about it. You can give me negative 27. These are things that need to be talked about. And, you know, as far as, like, you know, some of the other stuff that he's been doing, the warmongering that he's been doing, you know, in terms of Iran, talking about these threats that aren't there as if they are there, just the way that the administration is. And, yeah, I know he's trying not to look weak next to McCain. I get that. But I don't think that that's the way to go. I think that he's got to be afraid, he can't be afraid of looking weak if he's going to be the peace candidate. And I don't think his, I don't think much of his anti-war stance. I mean, that's why anybody who asks me, it's like, yeah, I'm supporting Obama in the general election. Yeah, I'm going to vote for him. But he's my fourth choice. Behind who? Kucinich, Gravel, and even Ron Paul. Even though I'm generally a Democrat, I would vote for Ron Paul if he was there in the general election and a viable candidate. Why? Because I think I'm going to vote for the most, what I consider to be the most viable, most anti-war candidate. In other words, the most chance of getting the most anti-war candidate possible. So, okay, I am going to vote for Obama because it's not McCain. But, you know, if anybody convinced me that, you know, Ron Paul, or, I don't know if I could bring myself to vote for Nader, but if anyone could convince me, for example, that Ron Paul was a viable candidate who had a real chance of winning, I would vote for him. And I don't think we do any service to Obama or the Democratic Party or this country by ignoring Obama's faults. And I think that's the big thing I kind of wanted to get through in this video. So aside from that, my family and I are getting ready to go on vacation, so I just want to tell all my subscribers who are used to seeing my comments and stuff on their videos that I'm going to be gone for about a week and a half. I'll be right back on here as soon as I get back, though. I've grown to rely on YouTube quite a bit and all my friends out there in cyberspace. So, as usual, thanks for listening, and have a great time for the next week or so, and we'll be seeing you soon.